Well, the first map may have seemed like it took quite a long time, but in reality, it was a dominant performance from Heroic, a complete decimation of the guys from CR4ZY. Now we move on to Dust2, a map that they're much more well-versed on, a map that has definitely seemed like more of a comfort pick for them as of recent, alongside Mirage, but of course, they weren't allowed to have that one, as many people seem to know that by now. Is it going to be a different story, Pimp, or do you think it's more of the same?
It's going to be a different story. There's no way that CR4ZY is going to go down 16-3 against Heroic one more time, especially on a map like Dust2. That being said, though, I didn't see at any point any of the CR4ZY players really come out to fight in that game. I didn't see Esperanto having 1 or 2 rounds, where he just went completely off. I didn't see, and I guess this is a fine picture to describe it, everyone is missing from that lineup right now, and that's a problem. They have so much potential. They have so much skill. They have, some of the greatest individuals within Europe, especially in the way that they're playing Counter-Strike.
Yep.
A lot of skill within this lineup. They just need to facilitate it. They need to get it enabled, so to speak. But it's hard to do that against a team like Heroic, who right now seems to be working on all cylinders. Yes, it was a little bit disappointing yesterday. They dropped the map to SJ Gaming. It was a close affair, but today it's been looking like they're back to the normal self. So how are you gonna beat them if you're CR4ZY? Well, you gotta step up individually. You have a map like Dust2 that has a lot of open areas. You can rush in towards the B. You can take long control. You can go out fast middle and seek the duels. Seek the duels, win the duels, and from that point on, CR4ZY will have to finish it out. I think there's a chance they can take this map. It is obviously their own map pick, and again, if they just step it up a bit and actually contest Heroic as individuals, I think we could have a very nice game on our hands.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is like even some of the, what I'll call underappreciated players within the roster also play some pretty big roles within this team. Like Lenny is the B-site anchor.
Yeah.
If he plays like he did on Vertigo, they've lost, 100%. There's no doubt. He got, I think, 2 kills in the whole map. Like, it's not enough, especially when he plays such a pivotal role. So if that's the case, we'll see similar things to what we had yesterday with Godsent, where I feel like a lot of the stuff they were doing wasn't like the most in-depth strategy in the world, but it was just clean Counter-Strike. It was like waiting patiently for any aggression, finding those opening picks. They were really good at forcing players out with utility, like the amount of times Otto either had to try and run away from shore or run into them on shore, the amount of times we saw Letney just forced out on the B site and they could just charge in, and the ships may have tried his best, but it wasn't enough. Even Esperanto seemed fairly null and void, like it was one kill trade. And the thing that worries me is, I think Godsent are a decent team that are slowly growing. I think Heroic are already on another level than them and do similar things, but to a better degree.
Sure.
Which is a very scary prospect when you go into a map after being bodied like we just saw on the previous one.
I would definitely agree with you. I think Heroic is a fundamentally sound team, and going up against a team like CR4ZY, as you said, it depends a lot on the individuals, right? If you don't have anyone stepping up from that Vertigo game, it's gonna be game over. Heroic is just too strong. The foundation, the way they play Counter-Strike, it's, as you said, it's clean. It's not necessarily the most, and I think it can be, but right now it doesn't necessarily need to be the most complicated Counter-Strike. It just needs to be clean. It just needs to be, a heroic way of playing Counter-Strike. And if they do that against CR4ZY right now, who seem to be a little bit lackluster in the fracking department, then I agree with you. It should be a clear-cut case here, and Heroic will be finding themselves going into the next round. That being said, though, we've seen time and time again a guy like Esperanto. If he gets off to a good start, let's say you have a great pistol round, let's say the first buy round he gets 3 kills, that can be enough to ignite him, right? That's all it takes sometimes. And he is a guy that can single-handedly win games for CR4ZY. So that's what they have to hope for. Otto as well with the AWP. You saw glimpses of it on Vertigo. He had some impact, got some opening duels going his way, but he needs to do it more consistently, and he needs to do it over and over again, facing Cadian, who had a very strong showing on Vertigo as well. So there's a lot of ifs right now. There's a lot of stuff that has to go the way of CR4ZY if we want to see this game go their way. But, it is their map pick. There must be a reason behind it. And again, let's be honest, these are some of the, most interesting young players we have within Europe, Esperanto in particular, right? A guy that potentially could be playing for a better team in the future. Let's see why that is now as we're taking on Dust2.
Yeah, we are going into the map choice of CR4ZY. This could be their last map in the tournament if things are anything like the last, but I think many people, including myself, think that this one should be a different story. Otto and Emmy with the majority of the utility, Edouard, no fear. Heroic straight up mid, looking for those early fights. It seems like the T's are being fairly patient in their play, so they've taken long control, but they were waiting for that level of aggression. But they are going to be met with quite a lot as they all come barreling back in towards this spot. There's a big gap in the smoke, of course, because there's only one down. That does give some opportunities, but already making it onto the site will be fairly difficult now for the CT side. They definitely need to get some picks along the way. They don't have themselves a kit. The boost does at least net one. However, the T's just sitting pretty on the site, trying to use those angles to their advantage. Flashbang going to be thrown out to try and give them a peek towards the CT side, but don't really gain too much off the back of it. However, that bomb is ticking in their favor. The fifth man at the moment for CR4ZY. Snappy knows this and looks to get a move on. He gets two, and in fact, it's left all on to Lenny. We said we needed a step up. This would have to be huge, and it's not going to be enough.
Not going to be enough. That was a very chaotic round right there. You could see the confidence coming out from Heroic. Wanted to push up middle, wanted to see if they could get that initial frag. Nobody from CR4ZY showed up. Nobody really took the duel, and I think that was a great call. I think it was a great call going out long. I'm not sure how they lost that round completely, to be honest. One guy coming from Catwalk, three guys coming from CT spawn. You'd be able to crossfire that relatively easy, but for whatever reason, CR4ZY took the duels just a little bit prematurely, and they ended up losing every single one of them, which gave Heroic the pistol round and another great start to this matchup. Now, a full buy coming in here from CR4ZY. They're forcing up with everything they got. 2 Galils, an SG, and a Scout, obviously based off the fact they got the bomb plant. I like it. I need to see CR4ZY fight back, and there we go. Ships opening up the round. Down was not waiting for that one. That's exactly what they need now. Regroup, though. Pick out the pace of the game. Make sure you stay together. Make sure you have trade frag potential all over the map, so Heroic can't fight their way back into this one. This is exactly what CR4ZY needs. Break Heroic straight away and give themselves a chance of fighting themselves into the series.
Oh yeah, that opening pick. It's definitely something to watch, is Ships with that SG on the T side. Like, I think he's going to be the most clinical player, or the most important player actually for this T side for CR4ZY. Esperanto getting tagged down by the nades. That's where the department where the advantage was. He's coming back though from S-Tag so clean. And now the bomb can go running in the other direction. Ship's trying to hold any sort of cross, hold them onto short, and he will have long control. So yeah, the plant is going to go in that direction. I feel like that's going to be the toughest spot for Heroic to try and clear. And well, with no utility, no kit, they're going to go for this. They're taking their time.
Yeah, they should go for it, to be honest, but it's going to be incredibly tough. No kit, as you said, no grenades, no smoke to cut off anything or smoke off the bomb. Ships is in a prime position here, sitting by the car. Question if he goes down, then there's definitely a chance for Heroic to win this one. A boost comes up. That's going to be Otto bringing down S-Tag, and that's it. Round over. Ooh. Ships misses a little bit here with the SG. You said it's something to look out for. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but that right there, that wasn't too pretty. Cadian goes down to Otto, and here we have it. CR4ZY fight back straight away. Seemed like Stown was a little bit surprised that he was facing an SG from Ships in tunnels, and that kind of spiraled out of control for Heroic. But apart from that, they almost fought their way back into this round. As you said, S-Attack with 2 clean kills down towards middle as well. It was not necessarily a bad effort for him, but this is what CR4ZY needs, right? They need to establish some dominance. They need to establish a presence on the map. Now you have 2 SGs, you have an AK-47, 2 MAC-10s. It's a perfect buy dealing with 3 scouts and 2 pistols. So please, if you're CR4ZY right now, don't let this one slip out of your hands. Make a present, make a statement, put some pressure onto Heroic.
I always worry that this many scouts.
Never mind.
They've definitely got, like, every single player with a scout at the moment has been a primary AWPer at some point.
Yeah.
In one iteration of this team or another. So there's definitely some decent snipers, and this is already getting scary. 2 players dropped off the back of the scout. S-Tag is going to be picked off, and that will give them a clean path onto this A site. This is where the scouts are kind of devalued. Like, retaking, it's not what you want. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try and hold some of these players into the site. They're not going to be able to buy into the next round, so probably just going to opt for a save. And I actually like the decision from CR4ZY. Like, make a quick play, just don't sit around and give any more opportunities for these guns to actually do the damage. I'm actually surprised how far in for this they're going. They really want to try and challenge versus the guys. Crazy, nice shot from Barup. And this gives them the space to fight this back. You've still got Otto. He's got that SG, and the clock really is burning down at this point. I don't think they have enough time to even defuse the bomb if they wanted to. They're really looking to just try and take away these weapons instead. They're going to be losing their own. Only Snappy left, and, well, I think the bomb's going to do the work.
Yeah, but that was a great effort by Heroic. S-Attack was caught off a little bit. Had he not died instantly right there, that would have been backup for him, and he probably could have tagged another player with the scout as well, and that round would have been winnable for Heroic. I agree with you. I very much like the decision coming out from CR4ZY. You know, already losing 2 guys, thinking to themselves, if we keep doing this, it's going to be over. We just got to go in towards the 8-bomb side. And luckily for them, S-Attack was caught off guard a little bit. Probably didn't expect that to happen, unfortunately for him, because that was a very winnable round for Heroic. They almost fought that one back. But now we find ourselves in a situation as we'd like to, right? For the sake of the game at least. CR4ZY have everything they need. Now, they need to make this round very clean, build up a lot of money, and that's exactly what's gonna happen here. Ships gets 2 kills left and right. Emmy, it's not enough, dude. You gotta get those kills, or at least stay alive. Now, you give up 2 weapons, that necessarily is not a problem, but the fact that you only survive 3 guys in this round means that your economy is not gonna be built up to the point where you like it to be next round. If Heroic are able to save these guns, they're gonna have a strong buy regardless. So, given the circumstances of the fact Heroic started out this round with 5 USPs, I'd say they already pretty much can be happy with the outcome so far.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, like, although Emmy's not necessarily in this team for his fragging ability, the fact...
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
But the fact that could have been at least a bit of a confidence booster if he managed to spray down a couple of USP players. But the fact that he gets wrecked, I feel like, at least for me personally, that would be the most demoralizing thing. It's like, okay, eco for...
Was Emmy the guy who finished on 2 kills on Vertigo?
I think it was I think him and Letney were both right down the bottom. I think he might have had 4 or 5. I think it was Letney who had 2.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree with you. It's a bit of a problem, right? Because yes, you can rely a lot on Ships, Otto, and Esperanza for that matter. But again, when you're facing a team, when you have 5 players, as we saw in Vertigo, Heroic, every single one of them had impact throughout that matchup, then you gotta be able to step it up. You gotta be able to match that somehow, and I'm not sure 3 against 5 can do that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. Now, Crazy, they're in a somewhat comfortable position. They got 3 rounds on the board. That's, job well done. Took them 4 rounds this time around to do that. Whereas for Heroic, we see the first full buy for them. No AWP and Cadian, though. I guess that could have been better, but apart from that, they got everything they need.
Yeah, there isn't going to be one on the other side either, as of yet. Otto does have the extra cash to buy it up in the future, which I'll expect to see. It seems in this round they're looking for some early presence into middle, trying to take some battles, bait out the utility from Heroic. Going into these early round buys, it's often the case that you don't have everything you desire when it comes to utility. So if you can bait out as much as possible, chances are when you get down to 40, 30 seconds, there's not going to be that much left.
Surely not, as we see Ships is trying to put a little bit of pressure on towards this B bomb side. I'm not sure if I like the idea that he's basically just wasting all his utility. It's not like he's doing anything with the pressure, and it's not like it's faking anything at this point, as Crazy have no map control whatsoever. The only thing they have going for them is middle. Catwalk, which is not nearly enough on a map like Dust2. You'd like either long or at least, establish a presence towards start. Esperanza getting caught off guard. Doesn't matter though, Otto's there to get the crack, and now we see Heroic being pressured a little bit here. Esatec almost goes down from the window, and it's going to be a B-split here with all 5 guys heading towards the B-bomb side. Burp goes down as well. This is going to be very tough for Heroic to hold on to. It's only going to be Stown. He gets 2 kills though. Question is, can he get a 3rd? No, he cannot. And it's going to be a 2 versus 1 now. Cadian all by himself. No grenades, no kit, no nothing. And he decides this is not worth it. There's no way I can fight my way back into this B-bomb side. And we have another round going in the favor of Crazy. I like that. I like the fact that they're just sticking together. 5 guys, 4 guys out middle, 1 coming from dark. And basically all they did was just make a little bit of a sandwich out of that B-bomb side. Heroic had 3 guys positioned towards middle/B. Wasn't enough. Didn't win the duels. And again, if you can play like that, and if you're Crazy, I'll be very happy with that, because I think that's, that's going to be tough for Heroic to stop.
Yeah, basically just blasting through it together. The other thing as well is, for Cadian at least, saving this extra weapon, it could make things a little bit more interesting for the next round. He's going to try and close out 1 more. So again, there's been rounds on the board, of course, for Crazy, but none of them have been clean. Like, they've been losing a lot of players along the way. Even in the pistol rounds, they've been losing additional players. And for the CT side, hey, that extra little bit of money, the loss bonus behind them, I wonder if they'll be tempted by something here. I know for a fact that Cadian could buy himself up an AWP. He could drop a rifle. Stown could buy a rifle. Like, there's going to be temptations there. Of course, there's a few pieces missing along the way.
How about 2 ops and an SG?
Yeah, I didn't expect Stown to go glass cannon AWP. That was not something I expected. But
look at that. Cadian's going to take that dual middle now. No, we don't get to see it though. But Otto, he stuck in the corner. Cadian is fully aware where he is. Question is whether he's going to be flashed away or not, and he was. So another round where Crazy, they're really playing atypical Crazy, I'd say. They're taking it very slow, making sure not to take too many risks, not to make sure to take too many duels. Cadian is seeking this duel, and he's getting close. But they will not give him an easy PK. Maybe they will. There we go. Esperanza goes down. Bombs down as well. Doesn't really matter at that position. That being said, though, great opening by Cadian, and that's exactly what Heroic needs in order to gain some control over this map. You can see the utility is very low on both teams. 3 smokes available for CR4ZY, which should be enough for them to do an A execute or maybe a B split again. Whereas for Heroic, there's only a few flashes left. It's going to be all about them hitting the shots, connecting the kills.
I like how they've set up with a Goose as a position as well, especially considering they've still got SMGs. The bomb, however, seeming like it might look to make its way out middle again. And considering the setup, I think this could work nicely in CR4ZY's favor. It is going to rely heavily on the 2 players sat towards the B site. S-Tag with a fair amount to do. The flashbang definitely helping him out, actually. I think that was a team flash, and he's looking for the peek back in, but he loses that fight. And remember, Stown, no armor, has to hit the shot with the AWP and is removed by Ships. I said watch out for that SG, and there it is. 2 impactful frags. The remaining players, once again, from this CT side, left with minimal utility and no kit, but the peek out actually gives them a chance. It gives them a man advantage. The Warriors, it lulls them into a false sense of security when trying to get this retake. It's still a very tough site, but Otto's only going to get 1. And now Letny in the corner with the AWP completely misses the shot. Barup is going to complete that retake, and Heroic are going to steal that round away.
That was a very nice flash coming in from the bottom or middle. I don't know if it was Barup or Katie and whoever it was. That was a beautiful, beautiful team flash for his teammates coming into that one. Otto couldn't do anything about it. He only got 1 frag. That was the best he could get out of that. Letny once again not connecting the shot, but yeah, I was just about to say Heroic. That was a little bit disappointing from Stown and S-Attack. Couldn't really hold on to that B bomb side. I think they need to get more of that, at least a kill more, but in the end it wasn't necessary. And now we see again a situation where the game is going a little bit back and forth. I think CR4ZY taking a timeout here is a good idea, you know, making sure that they can hopefully stay in control of the game. They're still up 4-2. They still should be able to buy some decent guns into the next round. But what do we want to do now? We've seen 4 buy rounds in a row, I believe, from CR4ZY, where it's been slowly and surely, you know, taking map control and not really hesitating anything. This time around, though, do something fast. Go for a B rush, go for a fast long control, you know, put some pressure on Heroic straight away, change up the pace and see if you can do that. Otherwise, it may become a case where it's just a little bit too easy for Heroic to read.
Well, the other thing as well is even in the afterplans, like Ships peeking out the window, it leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
There we go, we get it. We get the fast long control and we get Ships winning that opening duel, exactly what I asked for. And that one right there against Borup as well with 16 HP, that's very impressive. Now Snappy's gonna catch them off guard, but Esperanto is there to help out his teammate. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves in a 5 versus 2 scenario where, if I'm Heroic now, I just want to hold those to those guns. That AWP, that's gonna be very valuable coming into the next round if you can hold on to it. That was exactly what I wanted. Change up the pace, you know. Beautiful from CR4ZY.
There we go. Bomb gonna be thrown across and a little bit of a bounce to make sure it makes it. And yeah, like you said, just these weapons need to be kept for Heroic. They finally get onto the board and they're instantly sent packing. Esperanto even going to clean out one of the remainder. It leaves it all onto Cadian to just try and keep this AWP, and they are going to be hunting for it. No surprises there. Currently with 5 players still standing. Cadian won't be able to pick off 1. They can't throw too many players into the wind here, but it's worth it at the end that actually Cadian pulls off a summit.
That's all right. You know what? Sometimes you got to burn a little. Got to feel the heat. And I think that's exactly what Heroic is feeling right now. CR4ZY, they came to play here in Dust2. It's a complete different outlook than what we saw on Vertigo. CR4ZY up 5-2. Heroic with no money whatsoever. They're going to have to take an almost full eco here. 1 CC, a few grenades, and a single flash on Borup. But apart from that, it's very lackluster. Oh, that nade, that hurts, doesn't it? 11 HP on Emmy. There's always some solid damage done. And as I said, you know, the success criteria here for Heroic is not necessarily winning the round. That's being unrealistic, to be honest. Yeah. You know, if that happens, that would be half a miracle. But if they can get 2 or maybe even 3 guys down and put some pressure on the economy, that will be just fine for Heroic. So good start for them. Emmy down to 11 HP. Question is if CR4ZY can recover from that and make sure they don't go down. Don't lose any unnecessary weapons. Gonna see a duel here on short. Grenades flying in, and this should be relatively easy for Legendary guys. There we go. Push comes out. Esperanto's ready for it. Getting 2 kills, and he knows there's a 3rd guy up here, and he is charging him down. Esperanto getting some much-needed confidence as well. Putting 3 frags on the board, and here we go. It's about to be 6-2 for CR4ZY. And I think I can say with hand on my heart, Tom, we got a game on our hands.
Yeah, already doing far better than what we saw on the previous map. I actually really like the concept of half a miracle. I think in my eyes, that's like turning water into sparkling water. Like it's
so
impressive.
You're turning something good into something
exactly.
horrible.
Like it's impressive, but it's not something you ever really want to do.
That's true. That's true. Especially not if it's like flavored sparkling water. Then yeah. Well,
if I hit a nerve.
Yeah, you shoot it. You know nope. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about Esperanto. Let's talk about him getting 3 kills. Yeah, I know it's on a cheap background, but hopefully that's what's gonna be it. You know, for him to ignite a fire inside him, right? Because I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I think he's the best, or at least the most skilled player on the server. Maybe not necessarily the best in terms of being a teammate or being a great communicator or being an in-game leader, but in terms of raw skill, I don't think anyone has as much as Esperanto on the server. So if he's getting fired up, then again, Heroic has another problem on their hands, and right now, the biggest problem for them is the fact that they're down 2-6, and it's been looking a little bit lackluster in the defense. The B bomb side hasn't been able to hold on to it. The A defense has been not really tested, dare I say it. A few times they've been out long and they lost the duel, so that happens sometimes. But the big problem for Heroic right now is a relatively weak B defense, and Ezetec and Stown needs to make up for that somehow.
Well, you mentioned it. It seemed like Otto went hunting for it very early on in this round. Gaining a fair amount of map control, but it seems like, at least in this scenario, we're seeing a few more passive rounds out from Heroic, just sitting back towards the side. We saw them early on in the map, really challenging into middle, like trying to take those fights, and weren't really too successful with it. So they have gone back to just playing within the sites, playing off of each other, still peeking for information, having a little bit of look from the doors to make sure that their opponents don't get too much control. But again, forcing CR4ZY to go for more of an execution, which, at least in the past, has always been one of their weaknesses. That, however, a little bit of luck going a long way.
Yeah, and it's becoming a problem for Heroic. They're giving up too many entry kills. Once again, CR4ZY find himself in a comfortable position. 5 against 4, decent amount of utility, still a few smokes available. 3 Molotovs as well. Actually, only 1 smoke on Esperanto, but that should be enough to cover some ground, you know, if they want to go off catwalk. Whereas for Heroic, it's very limited. The utility is located towards the B-bomb side on Ezetec, so not much to work with here for Snappy and Cadian. Let's see how this is going to pan out. Molotov is going to rain in now, and it's going to be an A-hit, Tom.
Yeah, Cadian needs to perform a miracle here. A fully fledged one. And he is going to be getting the first with the AWP, at least slowing them down, dropping the bomb, at least for a moment, but the rotations are being cut off. There's also a man flanking in onto the B side as well in the form of Ship, so it really is all on Cadian at this point as his teammates are slowly going to be diminished. He has managed to hit another shot. Bomb is looking to go down at the same time. Ships get smoked off. And you just see Cadian continue to push. He wants to take the fight. They almost line up. Unfortunately, almost doesn't win anything, and Estag now left into a 1 versus 3. Orb retrieved and quickly dropped.
Here we go, another round for CR4ZY, now leading 7-2. That's a problem that Heroic keeps dying over and over again in the beginning of the rounds. They're lacking a little bit of composure on the B-bomb side. They're giving a little bit too much entry facts up here, and it's not like CR4ZY are doing something spectacular. I said it before, it's not like they're going fast, long control, they're rushing B or changing up the pace too much. They're basically just playing some solid Counter-Strike right now, spreading out across the maps and winning the duels needed to be. This time around we see Esperanto, he's pushing up towards catwalk very fast, and he's getting a lot of map control in the beginning of the round. I really want to go for it, but they are facing full pistols from Heroic, so another round that are supposed to go the way of CR4ZY, and at that point we're looking at an 8-2 scoreline. And Tom, we had this conversation before. What would you say is a respectable amount of rounds for Heroic coming out of this half?
I would aim for like 6.
Yeah.
I think that you can definitely work it, get the pistol. I think too much more, and especially against a team like CR4ZY, they're just going to roll with it. Like, this is their comfort pick. This is their map at the moment. It's always been this and Mirage where they've always felt the most comfortable. Esperanto is one of his playgrounds, again, alongside Mirage. It kind of makes sense that they're their best maps. But yeah, I think they're going to want to lead towards that. And if it's too much less and a pistol loss, I think it's done.
I would tend to agree with you on that one. I think Heroic, at the very least, needs to put up 5 rounds on this CT side. Now, this round, obviously, is done and dusted. Letney is getting some nice stat padding here, so is Ships. Oh, said that too early. Snappy says otherwise, but there you go. Ships getting another frag. About to take his 4th of the game as well. Nope, not this time around. Cadian stays alive and runs away like a little chicken. I understand that, though.
Don't make him more kills.
Yeah, he probably would have died. So a smart chicken, let's put it that way. 8-2 for Crazy. I'm sitting here and thinking, what do I want to do if I'm Heroic, right? Obviously, I've outlined the problem. B bomb side hasn't been too strong, giving a little bit too much of opening duels away as well. Do something aggressive, but do it, you know, with trade frag potential. If you want to push 2 men in towards upper tunnel together, do that. If you want to push long 2 guys together, do that. If you want to push catwalk, maybe do a boost with an AWP, do that. Do something where you establish presence on the map, where you don't allow Crazy just to walk around as they want to. Because right now they have everything under control. If they want to walk out middle, they walk out middle. If they want to walk catwalk, they walk catwalk. And if they want to tag S-attack through the wall, well, they tag S-attack through the wall. There we go.
Okay. Oh, that is aggressive from Ships. He almost just went in as bait for letting to get the trade frag, but the grenades hit themselves. And well, it seems like the CT side didn't need to be too aggressive here because of the sheer level of aggression coming out from the opposing side. The problem being still, though, that the 1 man on the B site is incredibly low. And because of that, we're seeing a heavy gamble. But up at the top of mid, though, this could be a big surprise.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that he's falling back now. Just play your odds, dude.
Oh dear, oh dear, you cannot give Esperanto that much of a chance.
No, and he had every single opportunity he wanted to just wait and basically get, you know, a secure double kill if he wanted to whenever they got closer. So we've seen Boab actually a few times miss some backstabbing right here. Now Cadian in a prime position to do something about it. Ooh, but he shot almost the 3rd one as well. Beautiful stuff by the Dane now. Snobby and S-attack in a 2 versus 1 against Emmy. He hasn't had the best series so far. I'm not sure what that Molotov is supposed to do, but may serve as a little bit of a confusion. He got leg shot by S-attack through the smoke and is down to 18 HP. Stuck by the car. It's not a great position to be in.
I think it's going to be very difficult from this spot now. The CT side have managed to gain so much ground, getting right up close, and it's just a bait and switch. Smart stuff from Heroic. Sure, they lose an extra player doing it, but confirm the round in the end. And yeah, to be honest, though, I still look at that round being more Crazy as their own doom, in a sense. Like,
that was a little bit too aggressive, right?
Yeah.
Running out middle and just, I don't know, Boab should have closed that round way early as well. So you've got to be critical towards Heroic one more time. They're losing too many players there. Only surviving with Snobby and AWP is not enough, considering the landscape of that round. But a round is a round, and that's another one on the board for Heroic. So I guess they'll be happy with that. Fighting back a little bit, but this also puts them in a position where if they lose this one, they're gonna be out of money again.
Yeah.
And it's been the case, you know, they've had 3 or 4 full ecos already on this CT side, and that's a little bit too many.
Well, yeah, especially considering they want to play a double orb setup. Like, we've seen it switch between Stown and S-Tag, and obviously Cadian taking the primary for the majority of the time. It's such an expensive setup to have on the CT side. The fact that, like you said, it's not consistent rounds, they're not managing to streak anything together, it means they can't have that the majority of the time. And then it comes down to, okay, we talk about the aggression we want to see them, like them taking some map control away. It's kind of difficult when you don't have your primary setup. You can't gamble so much because you don't want to leave just 1 player with a rifle on the B site. I think also one of the big problems they're having is, for the majority of the rounds, okay, we've seen a couple towards long in the last few, we've basically seen a lot of mid control early on, and then either a split on short or a split on B. And that's the only 2 real strategies we saw for Crazy for the longest time, because they could basically just bait rotations. They would throw in some flashes to A, someone would rotate that way. They did the same in mid 1 round, and that was the round I think they just walked up Cat, and I think it was only Cadian to defend and try his best. But there were still 3 players on the other side of the map, and that's the problem. Because they're losing this early pick most rounds, excluding the one we just watched, it makes things very difficult for Heroic to actually choose where to defend, because as we know, Dust2 is a map, you can't defend everything all of the time unless your players are literally playing lights out.
No, and I definitely agree. It is a little bit too easy for Crazy in this situation, just to walk around and as said, you know, Dust2 is one of those maps where you, on the T side, you can basically win an entire game just by running default 15 rounds in a row. I think MSL has said it a few times as well. Other prominent in-game leaders have said it, Glaive for that matter as well. You know, you can run default 15 times in a row and just, you know, have little variations of it, and then that's going to be enough. You can only do that, though, if the CT team are allowing you to do so. We need to see Cadian establish a presence with the AWP, you know, go for some aggressive peaks somewhere without risking everything, without risking getting killed necessarily, right? But at least establish a presence so Crazy don't feel comfortable just doing default. Now, this time around, though, it's going to be a B hit straight away.
Oh, my God.
And it's going to work out like a charm. Down is all that's left. Letney taking him down as well, and that is it. Round is over. I like the change of pace from Crazy, especially considering we just had a break. Clearly to see that Heroic weren't expecting that, and now we face ourselves with a situation where it's going to be 9-3 for Crazy. It's like Vertigo, just with a, you know, opposite result.
Well, that is wild, like, from Letny. That's not something we saw throughout the whole of the last map. Just running through a Molotov, 2 impactful entry kills that just ended the round. Like you said, that was it. The second he did that, it was done. And on the last map, I think part of it, for me at least, just seems like some of the players on their team don't seem comfortable at all on Vertigo.
Sure.
Like, a lot of the peaks, as you were saying, seemed very risky, seemed very individualistic, but at the same time, they were not ones where the player looked like, okay, I'm going to pre-fire this or pre-fire that. Whereas Letny there, he knew exactly where to look within the first second of running into the site.
Exactly. It's good to see him having some impact as well.
Yeah.
As said, he had a rough game on Vertigo, had a rough start to this Dust2 as well, but that right there, that's beautiful. Attack getting caught off guard completely. Down, just stuck on the side. There's nothing he can really do. Maybe one frag wouldn't really help them out anyway. And now Heroic find himself in an incredible tough position. Down 3-9. That is what you love to see, though. Down getting boosted with a scout, taking out Otto, and there we go. Maybe this is a way in. You know, as said, 5 rounds, it's definitely doable. You'd like more, but it's doable. That being said, though, when Chips is playing the way he's playing right now with the SG towards this B bomb side, you're not gonna win if you're Heroic.
Well, that's the thing. He was one of the reasons that they managed to win in Rotterdam. Was, sure, you had Esperanto still performing very well, but Chips stuck with him all the way.
Yeah.
And his SG play, especially on maps like Dust2, was incredible. Like, he really was one of the MVPs of the whole tournament. And I think there was only really a couple that could be up there. So if this is like a sign of things to come, then okay, this could definitely become a very interesting series. And after the first map, I was worried for them, but this is looking much, much better. Of course, still a 4v4 in this round. 50 seconds left for them to play with, and they are actually pushing into the stack side of the map, and there's a flank.
Could be very dangerous for Crazy. There's 3 guys waiting for them. Cadian is backstepping as well. He's getting the kill, actually, despite Chips being aware. That's an opening right there. Bob in a prime position here on the bomb side. He needs to step out and get a kill, and he does so. Puts down the bomb. Letny finds the trade frag. Not enough, though. S-Attack puts him down, and there we go. Heroic is stealing away around. They had no business winning whatsoever with limited investment. Just a scout, a few pistols, and a few grenades. That was enough, though, initiated by Stown with that lovely boost pick down from middle to begin off the round. So here we are, 9-4, and again, you know, they keep a door open. It's still a relatively strong half from Crazy. They've still been playing well, but Heroic, despite, you know, not playing well right now, has still managed to steal away 4 rounds.
We are going to see a bit of a pickup in pace. Esperanto taking long control away. Also a challenge into middle from Letny as well. They're definitely still keeping their avenues open for this round. But I like this. We're finally seeing something from the CT side. They're taking some control of short. This will be so valuable, even if they lose the site, just for a retake scenario, just having this position away from the Ts. And it's another spot that Crazy are going to have to clear.
Gifted so much space by Heroic right now. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it. A bomb side has completely been left out. They want to play the retake, and that's fair, and that's fine enough. You'll have to be successful with this. Down is being flashed through here. Let's see if he can do something about it. Cannot. It goes down to Emmy, I believe that was. Flash did work out, though. And now they're being caught in uncomfortable positions. Snappy in the open. So is Borup. He's going to be taken down by Emmy. And this is effectively the round over once again. A 4 versus 2. There's no way they're going for it. And they have to save one more time. I think Heroic is playing way too passive right now. They're giving way too much space to Crazy. And they're being forced into positions where they don't feel comfortable. You gotta be more assertive in the way you approach the map. You gotta be more aggressive, and you gotta be more proactive. Right now, Heroic is obviously doing it to themselves, but it's also based off the fact that Crazy is playing well for the first time in this series. So we gotta give that compliment as well. Credit deserved, but as said, you know, I think Heroic they need to take charge of the game, or at least their own destiny, in that sense that if you're just sitting back and waiting to die, then you will die at some point. It's just a question of time.
Yeah, and I do also think that the T-side star actually has benefited Crazy quite a bit. Like, we didn't get to see too much of it when they played against Godsend. I think that they got so overwhelmed with their CT side that things just went so bad. So the fact that they've been able to set the pace, they've been able to like make the plays, trade effectively, have Emmy calling the strats for them. Obviously, he was the coach of the team beforehand, so giving him a chance to actually do what he does best, they're looking much better.
They're looking much, much better, that's for sure. Last round of the first half. Second map, Heroic up 1 after winning Vertigo convincingly. Now trailing 10-4 against CR4ZY. Another round where they're just gonna spread out, just gonna play it as a default. Looks like they're gonna go towards this B bomb side once again, do a surprise hit in here. It's gonna be all up to Down, and he is not ready for it. He's being pressured, he's down to half HP. Stabby comes in as backup, gets the first kill. Now Stabby goes down and you lose control over the bomb side one more time. I mean, chances of them winning a retake scenario here is not gonna be a lot, unless you push in straight away and get some kills, and that's exactly what they're doing. Optimizing the chances there. It's BO3 and it's Cadian against Emmy and Ships. Will they be successful? A good nade though, putting Emmy down to 58 HP.
Yeah, also the playthrough has actually bought quite a lot of time for BO3, who is going to be making his way through the tunnels fairly late into the round, but they do expect it. Ships is just waiting on the angle, gets the timing perfect on the peak, and well, Cadian couldn't really do too much, peeking back in with the AWP, has to give it a go. It's the last round of the half, dashing tries for the no-scope, but isn't going to connect, and I fear that his time may have run out here. Spots out Emmy, nothing going to come of it. And an 11-4 half, a dominant one, in fact, for CR4ZY. They go into their map choice with a decent chance of taking it. We'll see if it can be turned around by Heroic after the break. Well, we've flipped the sides and seemingly flipped the performance of either side going into map number 2. An 11-4 half in favor of CR4ZY. Heroic never really seemed to get going. They go onto the T side. It's their turn to set the pace. We saw CR4ZY struggle yesterday versus Godsend. I do think it's possible that something of the same sort could be recreated by Heroic, but at the same time, I hope that CR4ZY went over that demo and sort of looked through it and went, okay, this is what we did wrong, this is the problem. And also, they've had a good half. They finally come into this tournament and performed well. Like, we didn't see it yesterday, we didn't see it in the first map. Now they have some confidence behind them. I think it's going to be a different story.
I think so too. I think Heroic needs to step it up quite a lot if they want to make this game competitive. A pistol round is definitely needed, a good start, and as you said, now it's their time to set the pace. Whether they want to play fast, slow, or somewhere in between remains to be seen, but I think Heroic has the qualities to do that. You know, they have the qualities to make a comeback like this. 11-4 is not a great half, but it's not impossible. Whereas if you look at CR4ZY, as I said, they're very, you know, how to say, they thrive off momentum, let's put it that way. You know, when they're feeling good, and when they're feeling good, they're playing good. So if they're feeling good right now, it requires even more from Heroic, and I think CR4ZY are in a position right now where they feel comfortable, you know, being up 11-4 on their own map pick, being Dust2, despite moving into the CT side, which sometimes can be a little bit rough to be on, especially if you're facing a team that is maneuvering around the map, making sure you constantly second-guess yourself in terms of rotation, then it can be a tough task. You said it yourself, there's one player that I'm going to look towards, that's going to be Emmy on that B bomb side.
I think it was Letney.
Letney on the B bomb side. If he's going to have a rough game, then it's going to be tough for them to stand up against the pressure that Heroic is going to bring. So I see possibilities. I see you know, certain things that Heroic can do in order to optimize their chances of making this comeback. That being said, though, Esperanto having 1 or 2 good rounds, you know, forcing Heroic into a save round, that's it. That's game over. They left themselves with very little margin for error after that first half.
Yeah, I think as well, all the pieces are there as well. You've got like Letney and Emmy still putting up decent numbers, but you have Ships ruling the server at the moment. Otto currently 14-6. Like, he's never. I never feel like Otto is the flashiest player in the world. Like, it happens every once in a while, but he just gets numbers. He's just getting you the kills that you need. He's making sure you have advantages. And I feel like going onto the CT side especially, where he's going to be able to hold angles, just sit waiting. He's not going to miss those easy shots. It's not like that inconsistent AWPer that will just hit a crazy flick and then miss an easy shot. Otto's that guy that goes, okay, yeah, I got you a couple of kills in this round. Maybe you didn't notice, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing my job.
Exactly. And I think that's, you know, that's a nice player to have on your team, especially considering
the other players on the team.
That's exactly what I want to say, right? When you consider you have Esperanto, you have Ships, who are players who require a lot of space, let's put it that way.
Roller coaster players.
Roller coaster players. When they look good, you know, they look really, really good. When they're not looking good, they tend to fall out of the games, you know, and have less to no impact. Which
and people start screaming.
And, that too. I mean, that's something you know I don't, but it is what it is, you know. Look at the players here, you know, if you got let's pick 2 players that you want to see something from, right? I want to see something from Stown. I think he's going to be vital for Heroic if they want to make this comeback, and I want to see Esperanto go crazy now. We haven't seen him this tournament so far being, you know, the Esperanto we know him to be. Now Ships pushed up all the way. Didn't really work out now. Esperanto, he's in a bit of a rough position here. I don't think they know he's down here in lower dark. He's getting shot in the back from down low, and it's gonna end up being a 3 versus 3 scenario here. Otto just misses the timing a little bit, and they know this B bomb side may be clear. Letney is the only guy in here. He has to get a kill here, and he will not, and that's a problem. Letney was in a good position, couldn't capitalize off it, and now we have a 3 versus 2 retake scenario. Otto, though, with the big flank coming in fast.
He's there so quickly that they may not even expect him to be through the tunnel so fast. He almost does enough damage onto Proper. Nice kill as well onto Sound before the bomb goes down. A second one picked as well, and Otto does it all. Okay, I take it back. The man can throw out flashy plays whenever he wants, because that 4K is going to set CR4ZY up wonderfully.
That looks so weird, though, from Heroic. They all, you know, got stuck in the bomb side, and the guy planting the bomb was sitting in that corner for 10, 15 seconds doing absolutely nothing. I don't know what happened there for Heroic. Maybe they tried to communicate to each other and make a plan for what they wanted to do, and the fact that Otto came from behind so fast surprised them a little bit. That being said, though, he gave away his position. They got shot at when they were running down in lower dark, so they must have known that he could have been close. So a little bit of a weird scenario here. I don't know what Snappy was doing in that corner for that long, but
I wonder if they like fake planted to try and get someone to go through the window.
Probably. But then Otto gave it away that he was from behind, shooting through the smoke anyway. So it was a little bit of a weird scenario. Maybe Heroic players felt that as well. But we see Down buying an SG. Oh, the timing right there. Could have been real good. 2 Galils, an SG, a Scout. This is more or less a Hail Mary from Heroic. If they lose this one, they're going to go into next round with no money. They're going to be down to 14-4 most likely. Now, if they win this one, that could be the way into the game. So another one of those we call key rounds, Tom.
Yeah, and their buy almost looks better. Like that's the way the Counter-Strike is at the moment with the economy.
Close.
The T side lost the round, and I can't. It's much of a muchness, really. Like, I'm sure you have the AWP onto Otto. I think that's going to be a big impact play, but he doesn't have any head armor, so all the Galils have the one-shot capability. Sure, the Deagle and the Scout have it anyway, but I don't feel like CR4ZY have like a massive advantage considering they won the pistol.
I definitely agree with you. Now we see them moving into this A-bomb side. Esperanto is going to throw a good nade that's going to land straight in the face of 3 players. Going down half HP. Otto with the AWP needs to make this one work, and he will. Getting the first one, getting away, staying alive. Well played by Otto. Then he follows it up with a kill. Cadian answers back with a Scout kill. Now we find ourselves in a 4 versus 3 scenario. Bo-Up, though, he needs to be impactful. SG as well, and I think those 2 players in CT spawn, they could very well go down.
Oh, I thought he got the kill for a second. It's actually Esperanto with the FAMAS doing it instead. Ships finally does come up with that mag, and down he's so low. There's nothing he can do. A couple of upgraded weapons will be picked up for CR4ZY. The question is now, Pimp, do they continue the force train? Do they carry on going? Do they carry on buying? Or do they take a break?
Take a break now. You gave up an AWP, you gave up an SG, you gave up a FAMAS. They're going to have the strongest possible buy they can have moving into the next round, whereas for Heroic, if they do decide to buy, it's going to be a little bit lackluster. If you believe enough in your own, if you believe enough in yourself and you're Heroic right now, you wait around, you buy a few Deagles, you try to make it expensive, and then you try to put on some momentum by buying fully up, you know, and see if you can establish dominance in that T side. It's your own fault that you're in a position where you don't really have, you know, space for that margin, you know, no margin for Aero, but I would not go into, you know, the do or die round straight after this one.
So you don't want to see them throw over some SGs, like have 2 players trying to just work everything
Not unless
out.
there's a plan behind it, you know. If you have a certain strat where, you know, you can put down in a good position with a given flash or anything like that, then sure thing, you have a good spawn for long, then do it. But I think Heroic is really making the right decision here just by going with a few Deagles, going with the armor, and see if they can make this one expensive, potentially even win the round. You can see a lot of utility has been bought up, so definitely there's a plan behind this, but they didn't buy more than they can buy fully next round, or at least close to it. And that's the round where they need to make it count. 13-4 for CR4ZY. It's been pretty dominating so far from the guys of CR4ZY. Good to see them bouncing back after that horrible Vertigo performance.
Yeah, it's night and day. It's been completely different performance. I think the thing that scares me even more is we now have Ships on the CT side with an SG. I think he's easily the worst player that you could have given that to in this sort of scenario, because, yeah, there you go.
That's why.
That is exactly why. Thank you, Ships. That was perfect timing. Some people just make my job that much easier, you know? Like,
there's a lot of people making it worse, but including me.
Can you name any others?
Spawning.
Okay, I thought that might happen. Oh, here we go. Flashbangs through. counter utility being expended. Down just trying to run and gun with the Deagle, but it's Otto to take his head clean off to defend his teammate, and the other players coming in a little bit late to the party. This almost seems like it just turned into individual battles with the pistols.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's very disjointed right now from Heroic. Seemingly they had a plan with all the utility.
Are they going to get a bomb plot?
Oh god.
How?
Just go, Cadian. Just go.
Yeah, the only way he won't get it is hesitation. And obviously, we can see things that he definitely won't expect, because I was surprised by it, seeing it on the map, and he had the chance. I think he would have just got it if he held it, but...
Yeah, that would have been a very important bomb plan as well, because yes, they can buy up now, but it's going to be with limited utility. It's probably going to be more AKs than SGs, potentially even a Galil if they want full utility. So in that sense, that bomb plant would have been very valuable. Maybe Cadian could even have gotten himself an AWP as well. It's not going to be the case this time on. Oh, is it? Yeah. Well, he can afford it. Glass cannon. There we go. No armor.
Okay.
And he makes it work. There we go. That's maybe the start that you want to. Down, pushing out long straight away. Has an SG in his hand. Esperanto, is he willing to fight it though? Seems like he is. I don't think he is aware that Down is already out. Now he is though. And he decides to fall back. Wise move by Esperanto. But this is a good start from Heroic. You know, up 5 versus 4. This is the round where you need to start to make something work. Otherwise, the game is pretty much over.
Yeah, they still have to be careful though, because I think that especially with a team like Crazy, the second a man goes down, there's always someone looking for a response. We saw Esperanto go for that peek, and even then, it's initially Ships, but then Letney makes the play. And we're quickly back into a 4v4, being very proactive on that CT side. Now the smoke's rained down. They've got 3 players ready and waiting. That nade through, again, not quite as much damage as before, but we've seen a decent amount of utility damage. Emmy hiding within the site, has to be careful, still gets the kill before he goes down. I think even that's quite surprising considering the situation.
Question is it enough? Have 3 players going up against 3. Esperanto in a very up forward position here. I don't think they are aware yet that he's hiding in this corner. Ships coming in with the flank. Cadian is ready and waiting for that one. That has to be a kill from Cadian, otherwise the round is over, and it will be. There we go. Question is, if you're Crazy, you're up 14-4 now. Save, right? Don't take the chance. Just move away from this one. Give it up. You have so many rounds to play with. You're giving yourself a nice cushion to fall back on. That being said, when you have Esperanto in your lineup, why not go for it? He wins the first duel, goes for the second one. Again, I gotta say, I've said it plenty of times, Esperanto is one of the best players when it comes to individual skill, but his decision-making, my God, it could use some work.
I'm sure you can write him some notes.
You know what? I'll just message him on Twitter. You know, give him a direct message on Instagram or something. Hey, dude, I like you. You're good, but hey, use your brain a little bit more efficiently, and I think you could. And I mean when I say that, I think he could be one of the best players within the European ranks of Counter-Strike. I think he has a lot of potential that is still undiscovered. We know how good he can be, but it's all about, you know, improving in the areas where you can improve. Individually speaking, yeah, he can get better, of course, but aim-wise, he's up there. But if he can get better at the decision-making, maybe even become a more efficient teammate as well, who is to say that he's not going to play for a team like FaZe in the future?
Yeah, and I think even some of the mental game as well. Like we see that from him occasionally. Like he'll have up and down tournaments. If he could be consistent, dear Lord, that would be scary. Ships, again, consistently getting the openers, but goes for the repeat. And Cadian, more than happy to take that battle. Again, we end in a 4v4 very early on into this one. And Otto's going to go for the repeat. As said, Crazy have been fairly proactive with the way they've been playing so far. Flashbang over the top, though, and, well, I think that is the clear difference. Like, someone like Otto, a lot of the time he is going to make that call. Like, okay, I'll make the decision to fall back. I will make the decision to give myself a better angle, the better fight. He's not going to be facing, so it does mean that at least short control has been given up. You can see Esperanto having a little bit of a look around in middle. I wonder if he wants to try and retrieve that AWP. A deadly secondary AWP at times. And I think it's definitely something we'll be looking for if we do head into train.
Could definitely be the case here. Heroic is taking the pace out of the game. Making sure not to do something over-accelerated. Emmy puts down a smoke. That's going to hold them back for a while. It's going to put himself in an upfront position. Are they going to go through this one, or are they going to wait for the smoke to disappear? Probably don't want to go through that one, but Emmy's in a good position if he were to stay. That nade, that could hurt real bad. Well, that's a good 100 HP right there. Oh, though, catching me off guard. That's
goodness.
Almost getting the kill here. Otto coming up with the backup, gets the first one. He needs another one, and he will connect it. Great play by Otto. Burp finds both kills towards long here, though, and it's a 2 versus 1 now. and Letney is in lower dark, far away from the action. He'll have to retake this A-bomb side all by himself. Good thing is he got a kit, he got 100 HP, he got an M4, but that's about it.
A little bit unlucky, actually. I think the Flames push him away from going for a short play, and he could have had the drop on both players, especially considering their tag. Now they have the control, the bomb plant also in their favor. He does have a kit, but I think it's going to be the utility that will make things very difficult. Only a singular flashbang for the T's to play with as well, however, but he doesn't have a smoke to put onto the bomb. He doesn't have anything that he can throw in towards short, and with them just holding this angle, I'd be very surprised if he managed to get away with anything. In fact, it would almost have to be the Danes throwing this one away. Just going to try and tap the bomb and maybe bait them into a bit of a peek. Of course, the money not in a great scenario, and while I think Letney may even die to the bomb, he's going to have to just run for the hills, and he's not going to make it.
Indeed, not gonna make it. Heroic put another round on the board. Now 14-6. There's still a long way to go. And if I'm a Crazy fan out there, I wouldn't necessarily be too worried just yet. I think there's still much more work to do for Heroic here. Whereas for Crazy, they can take it chill. You know, they have a good, nice cushion to fall back on here. They have been playing well so far in this map, and leading 14-6. You know, there's no need to be too sad about the fact that you just lost a round to Heroic.
And they can even go back into the next round with a double op setup. So
if they want to, yeah.
It's something I would almost expect to see. Like Ship's the one with the extra cash. Letney will probably drop that over to Otto, and then you've got a similar buy to what we've seen from them earlier in this match. So not really too much of a worry. You can see Snappy actually going to go for the Mac 10. No surprises there. They really do need to build up that bank. You definitely don't want to be in a scenario where you string a couple of rounds together and then you lose one and you're on an eco facing off against match point. Like, that would be the worst case for Heroic here. And while little defense, I can't see too much damage being done here, but then again, with these pistols, who even knows? Like, half the time we manage to see a couple of USP kills come in.
Well, Cadian got to taste the USP from Otto, but that's going to be about it now. It's going to be very important for Heroic to stay alive, you know, take as many of the good guns into the next round, build up an economy. You don't want to be in a position where you have to fight for match point or fight for a comeback, and you have to do that with limited resources. You want to make sure you have everything available at your disposal. Now 14-7, it's going to be in just a few seconds. Still no need to worry if you're a Crazy fan out there, you're watching. I think they've been playing fine so far. I think some of the players that we called out for being, you know, bad performers of the first map, Letney in particular, and Emmy for that matter as well, they've had some impact on this map. And then you called him out, Tom, saying Otto, not necessarily the guy who makes the most flashy plays, but he's had a good game so far.
Yeah.
Currently top fragging with 23 frags on the scoreboard, only died 10 times. So beautiful from him, beautiful from Crazy. Again, as you said, let's see how they buy up. They have the possibility of going for a double op setup. It would require them to buy less utility. I don't know how they prioritize that, but one thing is sure, there's going to be a lot of weaponry on the side of Crazy for this round.
I'm actually going to take a pause just before it. I don't mind the decision at all, like, especially when you're this far into the lead. Like, realistically, they don't even need to go for a proper purchase into this round. Like, they could just take the hit. I don't think they're going to.
No.
I think it's very likely we come in with 2 orbs and then just the bare bones rifles with little utility. I think that would be almost expected a lot of the time from this team, because that is what works for them. Like, that's how they play. Like, Ships, I think even in like the rounds just gone, when he gets that opening ult pick, if he doesn't re-peek there, it's a scenario where, well, they stick with the man advantage. It's just the way they seem to play, like very aggressive. Letney gonna get tagged a little bit through the door. But yeah, double op setup, 3 rifles, limited utility, pretty much bang on the money.
It makes sense though, whereas if you look towards Heroic, posting up with 4 SGs, really putting a lot into that one. Emmy caught off guard inside pit. He gets 1 kill. I think that's more than you could expect from him. In that position, he was being pressured to the narrow. Esperanza coming in with a double kill with the M4 silence. That was, I wouldn't necessarily say lucky, that was just a typical Esperanza play. Stavando answers back straight away with a double kill, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in a 2 versus 1 again. Ships with an AWP, a kid, no kid actually. It's a smoke though. He needs to hit this one. No, that was the opportunity. And he goes down to down. Well played by him. Rather, dare I say, the messy round?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think you can call it anything else. 2 kills going one way, obviously the trade at the beginning, and then just down, well, I would say waking up.
Yeah.
I think he had like 6 or 7 kills before that, and then just gets a triple out of nowhere that completely wins them around. So if he's going to come online, that could be one of the win factors, because thus far, the youngster's been absent.
That is very true. Same goes on for S-Attack, guy in the screen right here. He was one of the best performers on Vertigo, especially in the entry fracking department. He's been having a rough game here in Dust2 so far, only sitting on 7 frags, but he starts to wake up as well. Together with Down, then we know how good Heroic can be. 8 to 14 here. Otto pushing out, getting punished by Cadian. Ready and waiting with the AWP here in T-spawn. There's no need to take any risk, no need to take any chances. If you're Heroic, you just want to survive, you want to make this clean. The money's still not that good if you look towards the side of Heroic. It's been some relatively close rounds. Had to rebuy a lot of the guns. So a clean round here without dying anyone, or at least surviving 4 guys, would be much appreciated in the efforts of making this comeback against Crazy.
I'm actually surprised how much Ships has actually invested into this round. Like, sure, the loss bonus is maxed, so he is getting 3,400.
Stupid.
I like that. I like having you here, because
yeah, I'm
that's
being honest.
sort of what I was implying, but
yeah.
You'll just say it outright. It makes things a little bit easier.
There's no need to. There's no need to whatsoever to do that, unless you want to play with a max 7 next round as well, and he thinks that's just as efficient playing the B bomb side, which, yes, it can be in that position, but if he's asked to retake, for an example, towards the A bomb side, and he's running around with a max 7, then good luck, Chuck. So you're up 14 to 8. There's no need to do anything that is just going to make you stand, you know, just 1 or 2% less viable in the following round by buying up a max 7, buying up armor when you don't need to. So that's why I would classify that as being stupid. I'm sure there's thought behind it. I'm sure he has a reason for it. I'm sure he'll be happy saving this max 7 now, but still, you know, if he's going to retake the A bomb side, if that's going to be the case of him not, you know, being viable or him not being effective with that gun because he wanted a max 7 for an eco round, then I would be pretty mad if I was his teammate.
Yeah, luckily he does actually. I was going to say he had Kevlar, so could have just gone with a straight rifle, but no, he is actually just going to keep it to the next round. And that actually makes things quite interesting, because he's been the man that's been fighting mid with the AWP for the majority of the round. So this means that there's a complete change, at least in the dynamic of their defense. Esperanto, he managed a hero play just a couple of rounds ago with a couple of kills, and instead, this time he goes for the same fight and is punished for it. Otto, again, as said, he seems to be the consistent factor here, able to get a pick, stays alive, actually has to try and push through the Molotov just to get into a safe space, as they do look to take long.
But there we go, they lost complete control over this A-bomb side already. Maybe Otto can do something about it, not connecting that shot, that's a rough one as well. But again, how are you going to retake now? You have a max 7. Probably the wise move here would be not to go for it, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Down is going to catch Otto off guard. That's going to be the AWP down. Down is going to make sure that he's not going to pick that one up. There we go, getting another kill with the SD. That's beautiful. And now we have Ships with the max 7, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, and this has been, as said, a few rounds now where Down definitely seems to be building into this one, and we've seen some of the stars of the Crazy side go a little bit quiet, like Ships with, well, maybe a misbuy, maybe just a purchase that was a bit of a mistake. He's still going to manage to get a kill with it, of course, but that'll be him going down, and still we're going to have a disjointed economy for the remainder. Of course, we see the aggression in that round from Esperanto that almost seemed like not a frustration play, but just such a risky play. Like just him running straight out trying to take the fight when you know you've already lost that amount of control. Just doesn't seem worth it.
Just doesn't seem worth it. And we do it one more time, Ships, buying up the AWP with an armor. This time around, though, I can get behind it in the sense that he's going to have a decent amount of money because he got the full loss bonus. Also, it's an AWP, it's not a max 7. It's actually a weapon that you can win the round with. Now he's going to be caught off guard. Snobby almost spraying him through the smoke. What are they doing, though, Burp? It's like Snobby spraying through the smoke gave it away. Thank God for Cadian. He's able to refrag now. Otto getting gifted an SG, and all of a sudden Heroic find himself in a very tough position. That was not great by Heroic right there. I don't know why Snappy started to shoot through the smoke. Maybe he saw them, maybe he saw something on the radar.
I think they heard because he stepped off of the head.
Probably, yeah, but it's just it gave it away completely. You could just wait in the smoke and wait for it to disappear, and you'd be surprising them when they rotated away. But it's easy to say when you're sitting here and you're watching and you saw the outcome of the scenario. Now, fact of the matter is, S-Attack is down to 3 HP. Snappy and Cadian combining for an additional 200. Going up against 4 crazy players, Esperanto once again aggressive. And this one is a good one. He now gets all the information in the world, and I'd be surprised if he does not get a kill in the back in roughly 15 to 20 seconds from now. That's great. Keep on pushing, dude.
I'd be surprised if anybody turns around this quick as well. Like, they haven't even made their way fully out of long. He's just waiting for the timing, hearing all the footsteps, spots out. Murphy misses the shots, but he gets it in the end. And that's all that matters. Even just the doubt in the minds of Heroic now, knowing that there's a player behind, is going to make things so much difficult. But that kill from Kaden, he gets a second as well. Highly impactful kills, gains him the sight. S-Tag still waiting, and he connects as well, and it leaves Letny now. No armor. Does manage to force the bomb plant to stop, and actually, they have to go for this. There's not much time left. It needs to go right into the Molotov, just burning down. He just about got it with 1 second to spare. I think Letny was almost gambling on the fact that he'd done enough, but he has brought them both low. 3 HP, they peak together though, and S-Tag doesn't give him a second chance. An instant kill, but still way too close.
Good job by Cadian right there. Single-handedly saving the round together with S-Tag. I like the fact that we just said before, S-Tag, he's had a rough game. He hasn't had a lot of impact. This round, though, he's only sitting at 9 frags, I believe, in total. But those two with the AWP right here, waiting for Esperanto coming out from long and then getting the last one to secure the round. Super, super impactful kills from S-Tag. So despite having a rough game, sitting at 9 frags, those two right there gave Heroic another chance of crawling their way back into this game. Now Letny with AWP, finding the first pick. Again, he's been doing that a few times. That's well played by Letny. Definitely not what Heroic would have hoped for here, and they have to rearrange the plan. They have to go somewhere else. They wanted to do a B hit, wasn't able to. Now S-Tag sneaked out middle. Question is, will he find something, and how aware are Esperanto that this is a possibility? An SG against an M4 silence, I'm sure I'd like to back up the SG in that scenario, but it requires them to actually look at each other and have a fair fight.
He's going to be expended just to try and clear that close angle. Emmy has played there a couple of times, and good job from S-Tag. Is he going to expect Esperanto to be so close around the corner? He should peek in, and it's going to be the instant dink, and S-Tag again. Speak about impact, the last 2 rounds is exactly what he's been doing. Now, while they know there's an AWP on B, well, they thought there was. They already got that kill, never mind. Do they know that there's still another player there? That's the bigger question. Well, Ships is going to retrieve that AWP, look to try and hold on here, but he misses the initial shot and just going to get spammed through. S-Tag still holding for rotations as well, so he cannot escape. And I don't think the remaining 2 players have much of a choice. It's going to have to be another save. Emmy with a quick kill. I'm hoping he's not going to try and fight this on his own. It looks like he is. He's going to go running in. I was about to say, this seems like such a risk, considering his teammate is on the other side of the map and not attempting this at all.
Yeah, it's like it's every single player from Crazy have that mentality that, what if I get a kill? What if? Maybe I'm going to go for it by myself. But let's be honest, you're all by yourself. You're facing 3 guys from Heroic on the B bomb side. There's no way you're going to win that one. So in the end, he made the right decision. Decided to save with his teammate, bring in an SG and an AWP into the next round. That makes them having a great buy following up. So it's a good decision from Emmy. He has to stay alive now. Don't take any duels you wouldn't want to take. Same goes on for Otto here. He's going to get an easy pick on Burrow in the back, and we have a situation. We have a game on our hand now. Tom, I said when it was 16, sorry, when I said it was 14-6, there was no need to be worried for Crazy. Now it's 14-12, and I'd say right now they can be worried. If you're a Crazy fan out there, you're hoping for Crazy to win this one, probably cross your fingers now.
Yeah, 8 rounds in a row. It's definitely not something you want to see if you are on the Crazy side of the coin. That is the difference between them and the previous map. Like, sort of said that we almost thought the Crazy had just like almost given up when they were so far down. Heroic don't have that same mentality. They were fighting this tooth and nail even when the map looked done, even after losing the pistol going into the second half, and still fighting now. As I said, an 8-round streak. The purchase up from Crazy is a bit of a mixed bag, but as we saw in the last one, they can make these work. It was ridiculously close.
He sure can, especially if Otto is going to catch off Cadian, which he will. Nice peek from him. He's going for the wee peek again. That's been a little bit of a tendency for him. You know, sometimes you just need to take that kill, walk away with it, fall back, which is exactly what he's doing now. Luckily, nobody punished him for that re-peek. But it's a risk that is not worth taking. We have seen Heroic, though, play 4 versus 5 a few times already, being very successful with it on this T side. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's done and dusted just yet. You can see here they want to go for an A pick. I think it's 2 guys towards long, 2 guys around catwalk as well. Gonna see if they can sandwich this A bomb side. Emmy is the guy to watch though. Get a kill here. And the round is effectively over, I'd say. Now it's all up to Stowen, Snappy, and S-Attack. Do they want to hit this A bomb side or do they want to fall back to B? Looks like they're opting to go towards B.
Ships in middle with a Mag 7. This is definitely going to be a surprise. I don't think they were expecting this. 15 seconds left. They have to get going. Lenny taking the fights as well. A risk, but one that pays off. He's even going to retrieve an AWP afterwards. So a big round coming out from him, but ultimately it seemed like it was done already from that point. I think one thing that we have to give credit to Emmy for is if they don't take that early long control, he's so irritating with his utility. It's always with like 40, 30 seconds left, he throws down a smoke and goes, go on then. Go on then, take long. And it's worked. It's worked a couple of times now where you almost feel like Heroic are running out of time. They've managed to make it work, obviously, over the last few, but finally, he's managed to punish them. Of course, money, not an issue for the Danes. That kind of comes with the fact that they won so many rounds in a row.
Money, not an issue, that's true. Have 3 more rounds to get if they want to push this one into OT. Whereas for CR4ZY, obviously all they need is just a single more round on the board to claim the win here in Dust2. Another slow round, slow approach from Heroic. Can't really guess where they want to go. Ships almost getting caught off guard here in tunnels. I like the fact when you just do that, you take an op shot, you fall back straight away. There's no risk of him dying in that position, so I love it. It's very smart. Your chances of getting that pick, not too good, but if you do it without any risk taking whatsoever. Otto being pushed away. They probably heard that. They know the guy close. Question is if they want to fight it once again, as you said before, the utility comes in from Emmy. Smoke goes down towards long. You don't want to go through that one, especially not facing an ST. But it seems like that's exactly what they're gonna do, Tom. It's gonna be successful. This is it. Game on the line.
They should know that he's here. Like, he did this literally last round, and they're still going to run into it. Great trade from Snappy, though. It gives them much more of a chance. Otto going to be falling back to the side, but he's about to be pincered in. Short going to be taken. He needs to make sure he's not exposed to long either. However, with the Incendiary down again, the utility usage from CR4ZY is holding them back. There's only 20 seconds to go. They have to get that bomb going, and Esperanto is going to be caught. Letney with a double, though, and that's the bomb dropped. They don't have time. They have to go running to try and retrieve it, and it needed to be the kills. It is going to be CR4ZY taking the second map. A good return to form after what has been a fairly slow start to this whole tournament, in fact.
Sure.
They come back on the map that they lost yesterday, and after a dominant first half, they finally close it out after 8 rounds in a row coming out from Heroic.
A bit of credit gotta be given to Heroic for making that comeback almost work. That being said, though, it was CR4ZY all over this map. They were playing solid, they were playing great. We saw some of those individuals stepping up. Otto, you called him out, especially after that pistol round. It seemed like he was all over the place, especially with the AWP as well, getting a lot of opening kills and being very assertive on the map. So well played to him, well played to CR4ZY. We saw them being absolutely lackluster and horrible on Vertigo. This time around, it was much, much better. Now we move into the third map.
Yeah, and that third map will be coming up. It's going to be Train, and we'll be seeing you there after a short break.